we are live. Looks like the camera got pushed up a little bit, but that's okay. Actually, this is a pretty nice angle. Sorry if I'm going to be a little quiet today. I am exhausted. Work has been busy. We've had a couple of new hires that I've had to train, and trying to do that on top of all of my normal work ultimately means that I am slightly busy. That being said, it was actually nice to be able to sort of take a little break this last Wednesday to be able to just like decompress a little bit, if you will. I'm definitely looking forward to getting back into the dev this week. I started on a little bit of stuff throughout this past week, but I'm looking forward to making some good progress tonight. What my goal for tonight is, and we'll get to that here in a minute, my goal for tonight is to try to rough in all of the major, like, different geographical regions. The forest zone, which I've already started, the mountain, you know, the ocean, water area, as well as the desert and the swamp. You know, those two being sort of combined into one little area off to their own side bit. So that's what I'm hoping to do tonight. I was originally planning to just take each area one at a time, but decided that it would be better to sort of rough in everything. That way we can kind of like balance it a bit better. That way we can, you know, it makes it easier to try to determine like what you want where. If you already have an idea of like, oh, okay, this is how I have this laid out. It makes sense that this should go there, this should go there, so on and so forth. So, yeah, looking forward to it. That being said, let's go ahead and just get on into the InDev, shall we? All right. Let's see. Get a little background music going, just for the sake of some background music as we move on. As you can see, some of our notes from last time. Add towns and stuff to, or add shops to the town of Bomb, but I decided not to do that. Instead, we're going to just go ahead and lay out every major region, because I feel like that would be a good stepping stone for us to be able to sort of do something else with, if that makes sense. Let's see. Might need to turn that down just a touch. Not on the actual thing, but there we go. Okay, now we should be good. Oh, saving, blah, blah, blah. Haven't changed anything yet. Okay, so, getting into it. We already know the town of Bomb. It's more or less finished. I need to add shops. If you recall from the other stream, we have the optional dungeon here, which is this here. It's basically like a graveyard. You also have another optional dungeon outside of town down here. You basically burn this little bush bit here, and boom jams. Let me think real quick. No, I don't have it on here, never mind. I was going to say I have something, but I don't think it's going to be needed. But yeah, and then we also have this other side venture, and its purpose more or less is to introduce the player to some interesting puzzles, some push block puzzles, as well as... Did that lock up a little bit? What am I looking at? Huh. Did it bug out on us? Huh. Guess the music bugged out on us. That's odd. Let's try it again, shall we? Okay, there we go. I don't know. Computer's been acting a little funny on me lately. But it'll do that, I suppose. But, bonus dungeon. More or less the purpose for this is you can get some rupees out of the deal, and you can also get a heart piece. Well, heart piece, heart container. So, it's an optional dungeon just basically to get your character stronger, more or less. To get Sir Coop ever so slightly more powerful and possibly more survivable for his upcoming adventure. But going back to town, you leave town this way, and that takes you to the forest zone. So with the forest zone, you basically have one dungeon. Most of the other main geographical locations have two major dungeons. But since we've already covered one of the dungeons in the starting dungeon, which is the dungeon of Coop, the dungeon of Coop here, this major dungeon, we've already covered that. So in the forest region, we only need one dungeon, which I have decided will go up here. We'll make it all fancy and whatnot later. There's going to be a maze puzzle leading up to that dungeon. I feel like that's going to be an interesting one. So, we'll have that be as is. But we have all of this other map here yet to be defined. So, that is what our job tonight is going to be. Is going ahead and roughly defining most of the map. That being said, roughly define is a bit of a vague term, if you will. But the general idea is we basically just want to fill out and have a rough idea of like how we want to maze out basically the whole map, if that makes sense. So what I generally like to do for starters to just fill the map out is go ahead and just define every space, more or less. In our case, let's see, this is the bottom level, which means we need to go ahead and do the thing with the thing. Yeah, what I generally like to do is go ahead and just define every square. And when I refer to squares, I refer to either actual tile squares, or generally when I say squares, I mean like actual map, like the actual mapping squares. So what we're gonna do is basically just fill out and predefine each space. That way our map is more or less filled, if you will. And then from there, it'll make it a lot easier to moving forward, because then all you have to do is just make changes as needed, as opposed to what do you call them? Saving quest. Go away. So that is pretty much where we're at. It's a bit of a tedious task to fill out the map a little bit, but it's definitely worth it, as it does save time in the long run. Go ahead, fill this out, and take this and run it across. And that is more or less our essential map filled out. And what I generally like to do is just that. Go ahead and just define every square. So once we do that, we shouldn't have any spaces that have any conflict with tiles beside it. And you can see when I refer to tile, conflict, this here, if you would have this unfilled, you would be able to have your character, in our case Sir Coop, would be able to walk into this bush by scene transitioning, which we absolutely do not want, because that causes the game to break, and nobody wants that to happen. Then we're going to have to clean up a little bit, because we're going to have some tile breaks here. This here I did on purpose because it is a mapping, or like a maze puzzle here. so it doesn't really matter. The player won't ever be able to walk through here into this other zone, so that plays out just fine. That is too far. Go ahead, put that there, move that over. Good. This here needs a little bit. There we go. Let's see. But nah, work's been interesting lately. I'll just put it that way. Takes up a good deal of my time, which makes sense. I mean, it is work, but lately it's been taking more time than I would like it to. Just simply because, you know, it's like, you know, don't get me wrong, the overtime is nice, but trying to keep up with my work and also a couple other people's work, you know, it does make it a little tricky. But that is okay. I guess one of the other things is one of the new hires is a friend of mine. So I want to see him succeed, right? That being said, I need to make sure I find a balance between my own work and making sure that he is succeeding. I mean, you know, it is my job to train him, but I also have my own priorities that I'm supposed to take care of. And if I'm spending too much time trying to ensure his success, you know, with the new occupation, then, you know, it puts myself in a compromised position, which I absolutely do not want. That being said, he has been doing a great job, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work with him. So far it's been really nice, actually. It's definitely taken quite a bit off my plate as far as, like, you know, deadlines and things like that. So, much appreciated. Much appreciated. But, yeah, you just have some of those days at work where it's just like, I don't want to have to, I just want to do my own work, you know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of the boat that I'm in. It's kind of like trying to find a balance between doing my own work and keeping up with training him. Not to mention the general annoying stuff that happens in the day-to-day. Not that I try to, you know, actually pursue anything that's annoying. But, you know, you just can't help but see just random stuff, like with your Google feed and stuff, like in your news and whatnot. Where it's like, ugh, am I supposed to be bothered with this? You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, I don't know, what did I see? What did I see earlier? It was basically an article saying, like, I don't know, and not to get, like, too, I don't know, what's the word? I won't say judgmental. I'm not really judging anything. But it was basically an article saying, like, why, you know, the fashion industry still holds such, like, stringent models for, like, what is, like, required, like, by women and stuff, right? As far as, like, fashion. And sort of beautification, if you will. I'm just like, it's 2021. Have people not figured out to just, like, not care about that kind of stuff? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, why are people still concerned about this junk? Like, I mean, fashion and high fashion in general is just, like, completely just unnecessary. You know? It's like, but for whatever reason, people still complain about it, and women are still complaining about the standards, you know, that are being put on them. And it's like, it's not really standard. It's a standard insofar that you're seeing that and making it that's what you perceive as the standard. Like, at no point is somebody really establishing that as the standard. I mean, it's the established standard insofar that you buy into it. And if you're getting upset because, you know, it's impossible to be that, then they've essentially won. The industry has won. The fashion industry has won. Like, it really is just a matter of just not letting it get to you. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's different, but like, you know, it's like, in my instance, for example, it's like, I'm a slightly overweight fellow who's generally jolly and doesn't care. You know, it's like, I used to watch He-Man and, you know, like, pretty much any TV show where the main character is like this just random, just like either buff or generally athletic dude. And it's just like, is that supposed to be the standard I looked up to? Because like, I generally don't care. Like, you know what I mean? And just like, you know, like, I don't know. The standard is what you're willing to accept as the standard. And by getting upset at, you know, the fashion industry or whatnot, then you've essentially verified that their opinion matters. When in reality, does their opinion matter? Not really. If we're being honest, it doesn't matter. But yeah, there's Dono's serious discussion in a nutshell 101 for today. I don't know. It's not like it's controversial to say like, oh, just, you know, just don't care about people's opinion. I mean, I don't know. But, I don't know, if somebody gets upset, be what it may. Like, I just want to mark this as unused space, because, yeah, we aren't going to be using this tile. As soon as you go south from this tile, you immediately go back to town. So we actually don't even need this tile at all. Okay, so, I like that. That works out fine and dandy. And what I'm basically planning to do is just rough it out. So this is roughed out. This is more or less the template we want to reuse across the other one. And then we can start actually defining it and shaping it out and making it look all nice and neat. I guess the music's just busted. Like, it stopped again. I have no idea. Let me try a different one, maybe. Then we want it to repeat. Okay, now it's working. For whatever reason, the music player keeps busting and stopping on us here. That's mildly annoying. There we go. Yeah, that should sound fine. Hopefully. Until it stops again, for no reason. But yeah, people just need to learn, just, you know, by actually caring about the opinions that other people put onto you, it verifies them as legitimate, and, you know, you don't want to put yourself through that. It's annoying. Okay, so, the maps. Forest Zone, it's fleshed out. It's complete as far as what we're going to do right now. We want another overworld. Let's see, map 6 is the forest. Map 7 is going to be Le Mountain region. Level 0, appearance. All of this can be what it is until we define it. Everything else we can just leave as is. Okay, so the music is still working, it's just the... Huh. That's odd. Just the visual bit just locked up. Hey, I mean, as long as it's still playing, I don't care if the actual player locked up. Like, that's fine. Okay, so mountain region, map 7. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to a fresh new map 7. And that being said, so we have this map. It connects from the south to the town, which we have here. And then this will actually exit somewhere to the north. I'm probably going to put the exit over in this corner somewhere. But we have to do the same thing with map 7. We're going to have, but in this instance it's reversed. Because if you remember our diagram, you have the forest region, which is south of the city of Yeftu. Once you are in the forest, you travel north, and that gets you back to town. If you travel south of the forest area, that takes you to the other town. And that's going to be shared across the different regions. You're going to have, the town of Yeftu, dead center. And then you're going to have each geographical location. So either the mountains to the north, forest to the south, etc. And then beyond those, so like beyond the forest region or beyond the mountain region, is going to be a town where you can buy stuff that is unique to that town, or you can do some optional dungeons, as there's going to be a couple of skill dungeons that are located in the town region, much like we did with the town of Bomb here. That being said, well, all that we really want to do right now is define, well, first and foremost, yeah, we can copy you over. That's not where I wanted to put you. That's where I wanted to put you. I don't know. I'll copy that over just for the sake of it. Now what we want to do is go ahead and start defining our map, much like we did before. Probably do just a classic, just brown and white color scheme for this one. Pretty much it has some of the best rock look comparative to most of the others. You can maybe do this, but I want to reserve this for like the graveyard zone, as is classic. This here could make for a decent mountain region, but it's almost too clashy. I want something just more basic for this one. We'll be using the other color sheet for some of the dungeon work. Okay, so first and foremost, let's go ahead actually, for the sake of simplicity. Oh, stop loading. Stop loading nothing. So 77, 76. Let's have the mountain region actually start, however. Let's have the mountain region start in one of the corners. That way you maximize the amount of map. Because I feel like the mountain region isn't necessarily going to be difficult, but it's going to be a longer region. Just because of how it's more of a sort of maze pattern instead of being more open like the forest. And then, yeah, so we're going to do that. We're going to have it a bit more maze-like. So we're going to start the player traveling from the south because they're traveling north from the city of Yeftu. So, what am I looking for? Brain. I am looking for simple mountains. Simple mountainous region. Let's see. Yeah. We'll just use these to define our space first, for the sake of simplicity. And we'll select you, and we'll bring you up. So this section here is not even going to be needed at all, simply because you're going to be transitioning from this scene. This is the scene that you're actually transitioning from. So go ahead and fill that out. We'll add in our stuff later, but for now we can side warp, and we'll just have it. We'll have it side warp A. We'll just leave that as is. We can correct that later. Some more of the tedious stuff like that, I'll just handle off screen. Unless people want me to show off a little bit of tutorial work as far as how that works and sort of the reasons why you have to do that if you want to do what, or if you're wanting to do what I'm doing here anyway, then you'll have to explain a little bit about that. But I don't know. I'll classify this this stream of this game more as a sort of just a general podcast, almost like a just chatting of sorts, but with more purpose, if you will. Not actively trying to make a tutorial out of this or anything. It pretty much is just time for me to chat and kind of just relax and just actually take time to work on this. Because otherwise, I'd fill the time with a bunch of other stuff that isn't as important or cool. And that is annoying, because I generally do that. And I hate it. But that's pretty much all of what we gotta do. And then we'll make sure we don't have any out of boundsery here. Yeah, all good, all good. Let me think. I will say though, one other thing that I've been working on lately, Dungeons and Dragons. Got the old group back together. Or at least mostly. Those that are actually able to make it. Unfortunately, a couple of them aren't able to make it tomorrow when we were originally scheduled to do it, but I guess you'll have that in life. But no, looking forward to it. So the idea of this particular campaign is almost sandbox style, like just classic sort of Dungeons and Dragons. Like, dungeon crawl, sort of more actiony. Like, it's like, yeah. I wouldn't say hack and slash, but it's definitely higher action, if you will. And it's set in basically a world where this magical just chasm, this magical black hole, for lack of a better way to put it. Basically a magical black hole appeared and basically split the known world in two at the time. And you basically have the civilized lands, which, are, humans, elves, dwarves. They all stuck on one side, more or less, now. They basically made that a safe haven. It's, like, extremely good. Everything's successful, and so on and so forth. And then you have the outer lands, which are on the other side, where, the old world, if you will, that they had abandoned. Because at the time when the black hole, the chasm, appeared, basically these demonic hordes just appeared out of who knows where, and drove most of the people, near the brink of extinction. But the people were able to find a single land bridge that connected the two different sides, the north and the south side of this black hole, basically. And as a result, they were able to create what is known as Fort Salvation, that basically takes up the space where the land bridge is at. And prevents, anything from coming through. And as a result, the people have been fairly safe, That being said, the adventurers, more or less, their task, their goal in life, more or less, is just do what you want, really. Like, whether that's assisting some scholars or something and trying to find some ancient magic, artifact, whatever, in the old world, or whether that just be straight up just, oh, I'm just going to go kill monsters for the sake of killing monsters. You know, it's pretty much up to the players to determine their own goal and sort of how they want to go about that. And I feel like that's an interesting setup for, you know, what amounts to sort of almost more of a sandbox style thing. Like, I mean, as of right now, the players don't really have a big bad guy, you know. They really just kind of have their own goals, and that's what they're striving for. So, I feel like that's a pretty decent way to introduce a more casual sort of setting. You basically, you know, you don't have to worry about like weird infighting politics stuff. Like, you know, that's not what, or at least that's not what my players want. They want more of the actiony stuff. The group that I actually DM'd before, they actually were definitely more into like the political side of things, like faction warfare, stuff like that, which is fine, but you can only do so much with sort of that theme in mind, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's fun, but you do have to, it is a little finicky sometimes, especially when you get like too many sort of factions, if you will. Okay, so now we want map 7 was the other one. Map 8 is what we want. Map 8, boom. I forgot to rename it. We want ocean region. Sorry, I'm a touch tired. Do pardon the spelling mistakes, if you will. The mistakes. Pretty sure that's a type of mushroom. A mistake mushroom. Okay. So, mountain area. We've mapped it in. I mean, granted, there's still a lot of work to do for it, but at least gives us an idea so we can kind of play around with some stuff here. We want map 8 because now we're going to the Oceanic region. So I'm debating. I was half tempted, and I'm trying to think of what I want to do for this. I'm kind of wanting. I don't know. It's tricky. I'm half tempted. Well, no, in either case, we're going to have to start our character. We're going to have to start Sir Coop from the east, because it's west of the town of Yefdu. So we're probably at that point, we'll just start you dead center, you know, of the place here. Oh, what do you call them? Let me think. I was gonna say, pretty much the default color set's going to be probably the go-to for this area, in all honesty. Having said, we can, to start us out, we do want some kind of a dividey bit, so go ahead and do this. This area, or this little bit of map's not really going to be used, because we're going to warp from here. And as a result, we're going to want to do a couple little bits. Or maybe not a couple little bits, maybe one little bit. And then the rest can be just ye old normal here. That won't even be used, so no worries there. Then the rest of it, I mean, honestly, the rest of it, I kind of just want to just design as just water for now, until we actually take time to like map this out. This is one of the areas that's going to take a little bit more work in regards to mapping, just because how sort of the island mechanic of it's going to work. Sort of making sure everything's connected and makes sense to be connected. So what we'll probably do for this, that's not what I want. That's what we want. But yeah, for the sake of simplicity, we're just going to more or less just map this to be just water for the time being, because that's gonna take some more thought to do this region, probably more so thought than any of the other regions, just because you are playing with a far different component when you start messing with water and stuff, because you're gonna have to have your raft or your boat or the swim mechanic, which we'll get into later. You'll be able to swim, but for now at least, we're just going to do water until we actually figure out what we want to do with this. Because the thing is, this area is going to be relatively small, all things considered, by the time you actually boat your way to places. Like, there'll be entire sections of the map that aren't really used for anything other than the purpose of traveling from one island to the next. It's definitely, this is going to be one of the trickier areas of the game in terms of difficulty, just because there will be harder monsters in this section of the game. But in terms of sort of traveling about the region, it's definitely going to be one of the easier to navigate, just because it's going to be considerably smaller by the time you take into consideration the travel between the islands and stuff. Then the actual most difficult region is going to be what am I doing? Big brain here. You can probably hear me clicking away here. Now, if I was really big brain, I would just do what I do at work and just create a macro for this. I save so much time at work because I use macros, and it's great. Yeah, honestly, if you do anything computer related, definitely take the time to learn how to create some macros to do it for you, because it's pretty great. You pretty much put the stuff in, and boom, the computer does the work for you. Why work harder when you can work smarter, right? Yep, smarter, not harder. Because that's the thing. It's like, either, if you do that, it opens up your ability to be able to do other work, while you're doing that, or, well, assuming you either have an alternative device to work from, or you're working from a virtual desktop, which is also an option. But yeah, it saves so much time, man. Like, literally earlier today, I was doing work quotes, but it was basically just I automated a bunch of stuff, and the computer was doing it for me, and I was just playing games and stuff, just relaxing for a little bit. So, smarter, not harder, fellas. But we'll get the basic layout for these done. I'm honestly I'm tired. Like, I'm not going to be able to stay up nearly as late for tonight's stream. But I didn't really have too many goals for tonight's stream as far as, like, finishing this, if you will. I feel like a lot of the more intensive mapping stuff's just going to have to be stuff that I just sort of do. more or less this stream and just these streams in general. Are really just designed to be like an update of sorts, as opposed to like intensive work on these. Because a lot of it is a little bit more tedious and not as fun to watch. But yeah, these are meant as more of a sort of update of sorts, as opposed to being, what do you call them? As opposed to being something that my brain doesn't know what to say. This is going to be another one where we're just going to want to do where we're just going to want to do just right in the middle, proceeding eastward. Sorry. Let's see. It's a useless one. We don't need that. Let's see. We'll want to replace this with these. Okay. Okay. So, swampy land here. It's actually going to be swampy and deserty land. Because it just is. So honestly, this tile set here is pretty decent, or this color palette is pretty decent when it comes to like swampy Biznu. Or at least I think it is. I personally do anyway. Yeah, it's okay. It's either gonna be, honestly, what's the other good one for that kind of stuff? I mean, this one here is pretty decent, but I already use it for the forest. So this is probably going to end up being our swamp. Then, I mean, for our desert, for the desert, it'll probably end up being this. This is a pretty decent tile set for that. But yeah, essentially for this region, you're going to end up having basically a split. That's not what I wanted. Brain. Let's see. 4 to 5. 4 to 6. So that's not going to pan out how we want. We'll do that straight in the middle. So, proceeding northwardly, proceeding north of this, you're going to end up having, what do you call them? You're going to end up having, no, we want a little bit of this. But yeah, you're effectively going to end up with two halves. One being the normal sort of desert, and the other one being a swampland. We'll go ahead and make this loop around here. Which point, actually, for the sake of simplicity, we'll just do this. We'll make that nice and fancy later, but for now, that will be sufficient. Drag it across. Boom, 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 and across. No, I didn't want you there. Thank you. Okay, so that's more or less what we're going to end up with. For the sake of simplicity and separating this, I'm going to create a dividing wall that's going to be temporary. Or, I mean, it's not going to be temporary. It's temporary insofar that I'm going to definitely change it up. But this is going to be the wall that divides the two sections. So, for the sake of my understanding of what I need to do, I'm just going to put it as such. And there we go. A little bit over, but that's okay. Select our tile combo here. This is what we need for this. Now we'll just go through and replace a bunch of stuff. Go ahead. Won't be able to replace all because it also affects the other side, which we don't want. But the good thing is, as soon as we do this little bit right here, and as soon as we do that, it'll give us the option to copy paste. Another amazing tool that will help us later. Okay, so that be that. Now we'll just go through and more or less just kind of carve out our little spot here. Oh, spot it is. I was so annoying Mitchell with that the other day. I was oh man, what were we doing? We were out in the kitchen. We're out in the kitchen making pasta, like spaghetti. And oh yeah, spaghetti and garlic bread. And what I ended up doing is just being just that accent. It's like you've got to put the butter you've got to put the butter in the on the bread. On the mini breads. We've got to put the butter on the breads. That's all. That's. Are you sure the pasta is done? The pasta is looking a little undone to me. Then, what was it? The olive oil. It's like, you've got to. Goodness, I'm too tired to do the accent. No. You've got to take the bottle and turn it up like this, and once you take the bottle and do the thing with the bottle, the olive oil comes out of it. Goodness. Okay. What am I doing? I'm forsaking the ancient technique of copy paste again. Okay. We want you. And now it's a matter of doing a little bit of this. Out of all the regions in the game, the desert and the swamp are going to be the most difficult, just from a gameplay aspect. The desert will play off more on more puzzle work, whereas the swamp is going to just be pure just pain and suffering. Because there's going to be difficult enemies and everything just all over the place and such. As it ought to be, in my opinion. What good is a game with a swamp level if the swamp level is not annoying and difficult? Okay, so I mean, the 4 regions have been roughed in. So next time goals, we're going to want to go ahead, finish the forest region and second forest dungeon. Yeah, we're gonna want to go ahead and do that next time. So that's gonna be the main one for next time. Honestly, we're not gonna be able to get too much more done outside of that, and we're really not gonna get it done if I'm as exhausted next Wednesday as I am tonight. But for now, I think go ahead and just save, and I'll go ahead and just I'll switch to webcam and we can chat for a little bit maybe. How about that? Yeah, sort of wrap things up. Nice. The Legend of Coop. Couch between games has been saved. Oh, alright. Yeah, sorry to cut the stream a little short tonight. I am quite tired. As a result, I am in need of the rest. Yeah, lately, Mitchell and I, off screen and everything, of course, in our personal time, we've actually been watching some anime. Something that I generally don't do and haven't done for a good while. That being said, he's introduced me to My Hero Academia, or Boku no Hero Academia, I think is it? Yeah. Boku Hero Macadamia. Yeah, the Macadamia Hero anime. He's introduced me to that. It's pretty good, not gonna lie. It's better than I was expecting. I'm not a huge fan of like superheroes and stuff. Not a fan as a general rule, but like this is, I don't know. It plays off more as a like, I don't know, more like a motivational, just like school anime as opposed to like actual superheroes, like doing superhero stuff, like being, oh, I'm Batman. I mean, just a rich dude that has an expensive suit. It's like, oh, okay, well, I get it. It's like Superman. It's like, okay. I get Superman at least. Superman's kind of cool, but it's also like, I don't know. I guess I've been more of a fantasy D&D-esque type. So it's kind of like, yeah, I haven't really been into like modern superhero stuff, really. It's kind of meh. I don't know. Just haven't gotten into it all that much. I did see, what was the last one I seen? Seen the one Joker movie. It was okay. It was definitely not like a superhero movie by any stretch of the imagination. It was more of a, I don't know, psychological take on, a character that just so happened to be from a superhero thing. So, but yeah, that was an interesting one. I will admit. That was an interesting watch. But yeah, so yeah, he's been showing me Boku no Hero Macadamia, which is pretty good so far. We basically were wrapping up the first season, which is cool. And then I introduced him to probably what is one of my more favorite animes, Log Horizon. I mean, anime, manga. Like, Log Horizon is just great in general. I highly recommend it. Because the thing is, me and him, like it was probably, I mean, what, that would have probably been probably well over a month ago now. He and I actually watched, Sword Art Online, like the first season of Sword Art Online, and just roasted it so hard, man. Like, we absolutely roasted Sword Art Online. Like, we both of us back in the day, like, were tolerant of it. Probably I more so than him, I think. Like, he didn't actually get nearly as far as what I did back in the day. But yeah, but now it's just like going back to it, it's like, ugh, there's so much to hate about it. I mean, it's not bad, but like, it's definitely not, I mean, it's not aged that well, given, I don't know, there's so many other great stuff now. You know what I mean? There's so many other great anime that, like, Sword Art Online, just, the flaws that are in Sword Art Online are so much more prevalent now that, in retrospect, if you will. But the reason I bring that up is because Log Horizon basically does what Sword Art Online did, but, like, better. Like, it's like they actually take time to explain the world and like the lore, if you will. And that's the thing with Log Horizon, why a lot of people were turned off from Log Horizon initially. The first solid like 7 episodes or so are kind of slow. Like, well, I say kind of slow. They're very slow. The first like 7 or so episodes are extremely slow because they're explaining all of the mechanics that make the game work. And yeah, exactly. Like, they actually explained their setting. Whereas you have like Sword Art Online where it's like, oh, they've got powers and abilities, and they're somewhat unique or whatever, and classes work somehow. You're just given one or some nonsense, you know what I mean? So it's just like, but yeah, it's a thing of like, yeah, you take that where it's like completely undefined, and pretty much just plot convenience for when it just wants to be. Like when they need to explain something, it's just like, oh, well, we could just pull this out of nowhere because it's not already established anywhere. Versus you take Log Horizon, where they actually explain everything leading up to the actual story. That way you already have an idea of like, oh, I don't have to question why this happened this way or why this functions this way. You know, they're not pulling magic tricks whenever they need it for plot convenience, is maybe a good way to put it. And it looks like we have one viewer. Welcome to the stream. If you happen to actually be here, I have no idea. It could be a little off sometimes, so if you're here, welcome. If not, then I'll just continue to chat myself. Now I was actually going to be wrapping up here pretty soon. I'm pretty tired after a long day of work, and probably a longer week of work. So I was probably going to be wrapping up the stream relatively early tonight. Going into... Oh, hey, yo! Hey, Jack. Welcome. Yeah, I was just going to chat for a little bit. I sort of got done what I wanted to do with the Legend of Coop sort of setup tonight. I can hop back over for a second just to sort of show off a little bit what we got going on here. So we've got, we got our little bit here. Next time we're going to finish the forest region and the second forest dungeon. The town of Bomb. Oh yeah, I caught the end, yeah. yeah. Hey, whenever you're always welcome, dude. So we've got the town of Bomb. It's basically done. I need to add some shops, but the town's basically done. The extra dungeons that are in the town, they're basically done at this point. And that's pretty much it. Next is more or less going to be finishing the main regions of the game, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna hop on back over to webcam. But yeah, so next time we're gonna be actually finishing one of the main regions, leading up to doing the rest of them. But yeah, so how's it going? I seen your post about Gleeful Gary. So, plan on getting back into your own Jubilant run, I see. Yeah, that'll be fun. Sort of keep up with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely interested in hearing the tales of Gleeful Gary. Yes, yeah, absolutely. But no, I was just talking, Mitchell and I off stream and, personal time and stuff. We've been actually watching a couple of anime that we recommended to each other. I'll have to update eventually. Touch them. Yeah, I was going to say, doing a Jubilant run is, it's a bit of a time drain, considering how difficult it can sometimes end up being. That being said, by the time we finished Dark Souls 3, and I don't know if you've gotten a chance to watch the VOD on that, by the time we finished Dark Souls 3, we were back to being absolute King Joe. We had our great club re-upgraded. Yeah, I was going to say, definitely watch that. Like, that was, oof. Man. Dude, the finisher on the Nameless King, though. I was happy with that, man. I was absolutely hold up. I'm going a little off script here. I kind of want to pull it up and just watch it. Hold up. Because the finisher on the Nameless King was great, man. Hold up. No, I don't want to watch a random Twitch person. That's one annoying thing when you go to watch stuff on Twitch. It's gonna make me. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to watch myself live right now. Yeah, hold up. Bet I'll watch it. Haven't quite dug too deep into this. Yeah, I was going to say, we just powered through, man. Like, we finished Nameless King and the Aldrich, or what's his face? Yeah, Aldrich. Right? What's his face? Yeah, it's Aldrich. No, not Aldrich. No, that's Aldrich of the Deep. I'm thinking, no, the Lorien brothers or whatever they're called. Yeah, we thought the Dark Souls 1 finale, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we thought the Dark Souls 1 finale was long, and then you end up having a behemoth of a 7-hour... Hey, goodness, say 70, or 70. 22 views. I was going to say 70-something views. We haven't had that since, like, some of our original Dark Souls, like, remastered streams. It's hard to believe that, like, we actually got quite a few, like, VOD watches on some of those. Hey, can't complain too much. I'm pretty happy with it. Hold up. Where is the king of the nameless man? We gameplay desktop, maybe? Oh yeah, here we go. Perfect. That works. Or it should work. Or not. Hard to tell. Probably turn it down a little bit.
Re-homebrew rangers in order for them to be good. Otherwise, just be a rogue. Because I think there's a scout variant in Xanathar's guide that's basically the ranger, but better.
Yeah.
Like, or it's a fighter.
But dude, yeah, we wrecked the Nameless King that last run. It was such a satisfying victory, dude.
Almost like a subclass. It's honestly kind of a disservice.
Like, legit. Like, I don't even think we really got hurt all that much throughout this fight, like, the final attempt.
Your chosen enemy.
Dude, yeah, King Joe by the end, though. Oh, yeah. King Joe by the end, though, is like a mad lad.
I'd have to look at the wording. I think it was just... No, you could select someone as your quarry. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
sorry, now I'm just doing like a classic YouTuber thing where you're just like watching... like just watching yourself. Sorry, I get excited by this kind of stuff, dude. But dude, yeah, look at that run though. That Joe-based precision. As long as I don't... I mean, dude, we ended the dragon bit with 10 Estus left. That's crazy stuff.
You got this.
Alright, this is going to be a dash forward. Get behind him. Immediately get it. Epic CoopCouch reaction. Yeah, man. Okay. But dude, yeah, this final fight with the Nameless King, like our final attempt, was just like so good. Oh, I almost died there. Goodness. Okay, so it was still pretty close. Yeah, I remember, yeah, we persevered and just, like, wrecked shop. That was the strategy. Because we tried to do, what do you call them? We tried to do Iron Fuck. No, we didn't actually. No, we never did. No, because he's lightning. That would have been dumb. No, that was actually a good move that we didn't do that. But, like, because we were almost out of life. And then we did a finisher to, like, get him done. Dude, yeah. Dude, that was such an awesome battle.
Nameless.
Man, and we finished Nameless King with like legit 6 Estus left, man. Yeah, dude, that was... Dude, I was so happy with that, man. Like, that was such a great victory. Sorry to anybody that is joining in to watch the the Zelda Classic, you know, InDev for the other thing. But I kind of got off on a tangent here. with a morning star, dude. Dude, I don't know if you want me to spoil too much, but I could show you like what would ultimately be like the final form of Joe if you really wanted. We could like watch it real quick. But I don't want to spoil it for you if you want to watch the VOD yourself. Granted, that's a 7-hour commitment. You're going to take a solid day to watch that VOD back. Like, we just powered through, man. I'm not going anywhere. Fair enough. Well, why don't we can jump on that. Because the thing is, we brought back Classic Joe by the end, man. Like, it was... I'll finish it eventually. Yeah, see it. Yeah, hold up. I was going to say... Lord of Cinder, that's gonna be somewhere like right through here. Right? Yeah, here we go.
I do hate how you can't fucking see.
I was going to say, and I think it's only when you do.
But yeah, King Joe is back in town. Great club and all.
Dark as fuck.
Dude, you know we had to. Like, the moment we hit 23 strength... the moment we hit 23 strength, like, we immediately knew what needed to be done. Like, we had to bring back the classic Joe weapon
The
here.
thing is if you rate it bad, it just still counts as a rating.
Yeah, it does.
That's so dumb.
But hold up. And then, I just want to skip ahead to the Lord of Cinder.
Alright.
And then we pretty much wrecked the Lord of
Rider
Cinder,
stance,
too.
maybe.
Like, it's great.
yeah.
No, that's
Like, dude, by the end, Joe is so OP. And I don't know if you've seen on the Reddit, some of my meme posts, but, our current plan for, like, what... Only thing he's missing... Yeah, I know, Ornstein's set. Yeah, we wanted to wear it, but it was too heavy. Like, so we went with the Drake Blood set. This is like... But this is like post Dark Lord. Like, this is Dark Lord Joe. This isn't like the Jubilant Lord of the Sun Joe, like back in Dark Souls 1 era. Now this is like the true Dark Lord Joe.
You know what's cool is that I think the first set is
Goodness.
specifically just all players.
Oof.
Yeah.
That would have been bad if that No, that was Persevere. That was fits after the Dark Lord arc in the Joe anime. Yeah, exactly. This fits right in there. But dude, we pretty much just wreck shop with the Great Club. Like, it's it's like, dude, the Great Club's so OP and I love it. Like, no matter which game, it's just amazing. Goodness. But yeah, so what we plan to do now, we're actually going to, like, take a break from Dark Souls. We are going to do the DLC, but in the meantime, like, we're going to just, like, I think the next thing that we really want to do is Halo. So we're probably going to end up doing some Halo, some, like, classic Halo co-op. And now it is... Got it! Oh, yeah, he does his little thing. Oh, Yoria! Saw that. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, so we're planning on doing some Halo next, which I think would be great. I love Halo. I haven't played a Halo game for, like, ages, though. Like, I'm classic Halo. Like, I don't know about the newer Halo stuff. Yeah, I was going to say, still Friday. I think we're taking a break this Friday, though. That 7-hour Dark Souls stream was, like, that was, like, a lot to handle. Like, legit. The 7 hours stream was a lot to handle, man. So, we're probably going to end up, doing something else. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I was gonna say, yeah, if you, are able to make it, if we do end up doing something, that would be cool. What do you call them, oof, that combo, oof. And one thing that probably saved us several times in this fight is actually remembering to use Flash Sweat. Like, Flash Sweat is, like, so amazing against this final fight. But what do you call them? So what we plan to actually do for the in-between, you know, before we go back to the DLC, we're going to, like, just power level Joe. Like, I'm talking, like, we want to just, like, make it to where the DLC is like a cakewalk. Like, I'm talking, like, this is, like, the true incarnation of Jubilant Dark Lord Joe.
Now all his eyes gotta be on.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was going to say that was like one of the meme bits that I sent. Yeah, we're going to basically power level Joe before we return to this in, like, the DLC. And then we're basically going to probably, like, honestly, if we, like, level enough, we can probably finish the DLC in, like, 3 to 4 streams. Like, and like, you know, because there's a lot of other games that we want to play. But we do want to do the DLC. But, you know, if it's going to take another, you know, month or 2 months worth of streams to beat the DLC, then it's like, well, yeah. Yeah, both DLC. Yeah, so yeah, that's the current plan anyway. Because that's the thing, like, you know, we have a sort of limited time to sort of be able to a limited time to sort of play a bunch of different games that we'd like to play. So we don't want to like devote too hard to playing one game, because then it's like, well, you know, we just won't have the opportunity to play other stuff. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, that's why we want to like just power level Joe off screen and then return to the DLC and just whoop. And then just like whoop everything. Yeah, and like I said, you could probably, I mean, honestly, the DLC is not really even that long. It's just, it's difficult. Half the time, like, I mean, you know, you figure, like, I mean, the stuff leading up to the nun lady, I mean, you basically have, I don't know, 3 areas more or less. You've got Viking Place, you've got the town of sad people, and then you've got, you know, it's like, it's actually a relatively small area, all things considered. And then the Ring City, yeah, the Ring City is basically, oh, I just have to go down this thing of stairs, and then I have to go down another thing of stairs, and you're basically to the end almost. You know what I mean? It's basically just like, oh, okay, I just gotta walk down a bunch of stairs. And it's like, yeah, pretty much, like, they're not really that long. So you could feasibly do them within, like, 3 to 4 streams, I would imagine. Like, assuming you're leveled enough, and, you know, granted, we already have the greatest build. Yeah, we already have the greatest build, so we really don't have to worry about that too much. But yeah, nah, I'm looking forward to doing the DLC, man. Like, I love Dark Souls. Like, Dark Souls is great. I think in November, the Jubilant build is it's clearly superior. Like, honestly though, by the time we end, like, each season of Jubilant Joe, once each season of Jubilant Joe ends, Jubilant Joe is like an actual monster somehow. Like, he's legitimately a good build, and I don't know what happens. Like seriously though, like it seems like every season that Jubilant Joe finishes up, the Dex versus Strength, but yeah, exactly. That's yeah. People out here arguing about the wrong stuff. Yeah. It's really a measurement of your jubilance is what determines if you good or not. Goodness. But like, no joke though. Like, every single time Joe becomes like this monster build by the end, and it's like, how did that happen? We struggled so hard. Like, legit, we fought Vort for like an hour and a half. Like, and then all of a sudden at the end, it's like, oh yeah, we kill the Lord of Cinder, you know, in one attempt. And it's like, we finished the Nameless King with like in under an hour. And it's, yeah, it can't be coincidence. It's like, yeah, it's just, man, it's the jubilance. It's just like, ugh. But yeah, like, legit, we finished Nameless King in under an hour. We finished Lord of Cinder, literally first attempt. I will say, dude, we got so mad. Hold up, I'm getting on a tangent again. Dude, we got so mad at the Lorien brothers, though. Like, the brothers here. Like, dude, we got so mad. First attempt with a stick. Yeah, pretty much. Dude, we were so mad at Lorien. The Lothric. Lothric is the younger one, the main one. But dude, we were so mad trying to fight. Yeah, dude, we got so mad fighting. Dude, how long did we spend fighting these guys? Like, we spent several hours just fighting these guys. Goodness, is it even further beyond? No, is this must be first attempt then.
Nope.
Maybe. This might be first attempt.
They're gods! Nope. Can we teleport back? Teleport back. We're fine.
I'm gonna beat him just with this. I'm gonna beat stick him to death, dude. I don't.
No, we were even going. We were still attempting this even before. Goodness, how far back did we attempt this then? Always found them to be spike of difficulty. Yeah, between armor and the soul of. Yeah, I was going to say, honestly, I've always had much better luck fighting the Soul of Cinder as opposed to the Lothric brothers. Like, the Lothric brothers have always given me a bit of a trouble. We spent, what? Looks like we spent roughly an hour and a half fighting them. But dude, we got so mad. Like legit, like Mitchell was keeping me in check with the controller squeeze. It's like legit, like I was getting so mad, like you could like legit hear the controller, like I wouldn't say crack, but like you know what I mean. like you could like legit hear the controller, like what's the word? Not squeak, but like sort of like, you know, where like the plastic shell is like moving, you know. It's like I was so mad, man. Like it's like ugh. It's like I hate stuff like that. Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, it's just like it's just where everything's kind of loosened up, so like you can kind of hear it, like sort of move, like the components move around a little bit. And it's just like oof. Yeah, that's probably why the controllers are sometimes unreliable. Hey, I mean, it's better than throwing them like some people do. Like, I've never understood that. Like, I've never understood, like, the throwers, you know, where it's like, ugh, just chuck the controller. Either just destroys. Yeah, I was going to say. If anything, my controllers stink because of my own hubris. But no, I don't understand. That stuff's like 60. Exactly. Like I'm in the same boat. It's like I do not understand the people that like throw controllers and stuff like that. It's like some people just like chuck a controller, it just smashes against the wall. It's like I've seen some pictures and stuff where it's just like a controller that's just like stuck into drywall, because I mean it's drywall obviously, but like it's just like now you've got a hole in the wall to fix. And then some people like legit chuck their controller at the TV. And it's like TVs are like $300 to $800 depending on what you're buying. Like I don't got that kind of money. Like legit, like at least squeezing the controller, it might damage the controller a little bit, but it's not gonna break it. And if honestly I smashed this controller by grabbing it with my hands, then something's wrong. Yeah, it's like, yeah, $500 because you got mad at a video game, something so frivolous. It's just like, don't get me wrong, I understand the rage. I get grumpy. I get grumpy when it comes to games. I wouldn't necessarily say I get mad, but I absolutely get grumpy. But like legit, like squeezing a controller, I'm not gonna shatter this controller by squeezing it. And if I do, then they need to really up their design, because I don't think I should be breaking this by grabbing it. So it's just like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't understand some gamers. I like Mitchell's strategy, where like when he gets mad enough, like when he gets mad enough, he just drops it. I don't know if you've probably seen that a couple of times. Like legit, like he'll just be playing just like all chill, right? And then just like he'll die or something. Just like drop it and just like like I like that strategy. At least it's non-destructive. It's a lot safer. Yeah, it's absolutely a lot safer than throwing it. And it's probably better on the controllers than my technique. But I don't know, it's just like when I get upset about a game like that, it's just like I tense up. Like it's not so much like me wanting to break the controller or something. It's just my reaction to like just tensing up. It's not I'm not like throwing anger into the controller. It's just my response to nonsense that happens. The Lothric brothers, for example. So it's just like, I don't know, man. Yeah, Vizia gamers. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you, like the people that go like beyond something like that, it's just like, I don't know, gotta get your priorities straight, my dudes. Like, I understand getting angry at a game, but you know, you could try again. And if anything, it's wasted time. Which is, I mean, that's the frustrating part for me anyway. It's wasted time. Like, you know, if I'm playing Dark Souls, got a bunch of souls or something, and I lose them, it's just like, oh, cool. That's an hour of time that I basically did nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, I hate it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't understand the whole gamer rage style stuff. Although, I wouldn't mind seeing Mitchell rage at some more Doom sometime. Yeah, stuff stings, but not worth not worth buying a new remote. Not worth buying a new TV. Like, dude, I mean, some people, like, even, like, games that aren't inherently ragey, it's like, I've seen people, like, break, like, monitors and stuff playing, like, World of Warcraft. And it's like, bruh, World of Warcraft is, like, the most, like, just hard to get angry at game. Like, how, like, what, you failed a raid? Just try the raid again. Raids take, like, 10 minutes. Like, nothing in World of Warcraft really takes that long. Like, I mean, yeah. God broke his TV over. Really? Dude, man. What, did he not get the villager he wanted? I mean, like, it's like, goodness. Ah, yes, the price on radishes has dropped drastically. You know that's I know. People, I can imagine somebody breaking their Switch as a result of not getting the villager they wanted or whatever. Like, I could absolutely see that. You tried to buy a villager online? Why would he bust his... I mean, he got scammed. If anything, goodness. I don't know, man. Like, a dude got scammed, and it's like, oh, I'm so angry that I got scammed, now I've got to break my own stuff. It's like, cool, now you're out even more stuff. It's the most ridiculous thing to me. People just get desired villagers and sell theirs. Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, it's weird, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how the Animal Crossing game works. Are you just like, are you villager locked or something? Like, whatever your starting seed is, like, you're just stuck with the villagers that you get? Like, I imagine if you just play long enough, like, the right villagers will just show up at some point, right? Like, and I mean, I don't know. I haven't played an Animal Crossing game, I mean, for ages. So I have, like, no clue how the Switch one works. But, like, I don't know. Is it just like, you know, it's just like it's save locked, so like certain villagers only show up on certain like world seeds? Like, I have no idea how it works. But yeah, just like, I don't know, man. Oh goodness. If you play, some will move out and some will come in, but some people just like others more and are willing to pay hundreds of bucks. Oh no. That is unfortunate. I mean, is that still a thing? Like, if I just go to, like, I imagine, like, eBay, right? eBay's the cesspool for, like, account selling. Animal Crossing. Oh, it's still there. Go buy yourself a Raymond. July, August version 1.11 sale. Raymond, Judy, or pick another villager plus bonus. Buy now for... Oh, okay, that's... I feel like that's a scam. Like $3.85. Like, I don't know, dude. Goodness. 2 open spots in your inventory. You can take 2 royal crowns with you when you go. I don't know about that. I don't know about that listing. Goodness. Yeah, I don't know, man. Some people like fall for the easiest of scams, man. Like, yeah, buy some royal crowns. Yeah, I was going to say, like, dude, yeah, pretty much. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I've become something of like an anti-scam like connoisseur over my years of playing RuneScape. Like, RuneScape was like one of the early games where like scamming and stuff was like popular. Like I feel like it was one of the early MMOs where like that stuff happened. Where it's just like, oh, I can gold trim your armor. You just have to trade me your armor. And then people fall for it. It's just like, I'll be keeping this now, thank you. It's like, no, I'm like a level 10, and now I have no gear, because I gave it all to this guy, who said he could make it better. Yeah, it's some funny stuff, man. Like, and even then, like, and that's the thing, especially like in RuneScape, like, the scams have had to, like, up their game. Like, you still have, like, the classics, like the old dice rollers and, like, gambling bots and stuff. You know, where it's like, oh, you have a chance to win money if you just trade me money. And it's like, those are, like, some, like, basic level just garbage. But then, like, you actually have, like whole, like, rings of people that, like in PvP worlds and stuff, there's certain banks throughout the world where it's, like, still in a PvP zone. Which is, like, the dumbest thing, in my opinion. Like, because the thing is, you don't really know. It's just, like, you would just have to have played and just know where the PvP zone starts in the bank. Because usually banks are PvP free. But there's just certain ones, like, certain banks that are just too big. So they've, like, the zone where PvP starts is just, like, smack dab in the center of the building. It's, like, the dumbest thing. But, like, yeah, it's just, like, you have people that will, like, try to trick you to, like, go across the line and just, like, immediately get just piled. And it's just, like, it's the dumbest bit, man. Like, yeah, it's actually some dumb stuff. But it sounds like Mitchell's home. Hey-yo! But, yeah, it's just, like, I don't know how people fall for scams and stuff like that in games or just in general, really. It's, like, Yeah, it's pretty funny. Because, like, what they'll do, like, they'll offer to give the other player, like, some, like, rare item or something, right? They'll be like, hey, I'm making a YouTube video. Can I trade you these items for you to wear and you can do some emotes? You just have to come over here and accept my trade. So, like, legit, they'll go across the line and immediately get stacked by, like, 10 other dudes. It's, like, the dumbest thing. And it's like, oh no, all my stuff. It's like, man. Hey, I will say, I mean, they've improved a lot. It's nowhere near as bad as it used to be, but it's still pretty abysmal. Like, there's still a whole lot of garbage going on there. Dude, in old school RuneScape, I actively avoid the wilderness at all costs. I hate it. Like, pretty much every time there's guaranteed to be some, like, just a group of people that are just like just group versus one, and you know, it's like, well, I guess I'm just going to die now. Oh, they also brought ancient magic. Well, I guess I'm not able to move anymore. I'll just stand here and accept my fate. It's like the dumbest bit. Oh man, I actually hate that kind of stuff, man. That's why I'm a PvP master of the, I don't know, PvP. Or PvE, rather. Player versus environment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Like, it's no joke. Like, yeah, you just got, like, just
groups of people that just like stack out in the wilderness. Because the thing is, there's good portions of the wilderness that are, non-multi-combat zones, so that you can only fight each other one-on-one. But the thing is, what these people will do, they'll literally just like surround you and then take turns hitting you. Like, one of them will attack, they'll stop, wait until the multi-combat, quality ends, and then the other ones just attack, or like somebody else will. It's like they'll take turns attacking you since they can't all attack you at once. And it's like, this is still basically multi-combat. It's like, it's still multi-combat. You've got a whole group of dudes that are just taking turns beating you up instead of all at once. It's like, come on. It's like the dumbest bit, man. Goodness. It's about teamwork. Yeah, it's definitely about teamwork as you abuse the game system and just stack on one dude by taking turns beating him up. It's like, cool. Guess I'll just die because my stats are only so good. It's like, goodness. I don't know, man. But no, it's interesting. It's interesting the sort of dynamics that are going on in the wilderness now, though, especially in regards to the Venezuelan players that are doing it for like real world trading and stuff. Sort of to catch you up briefly on that whole debacle. You basically, so I don't know if you've heard about Venezuela, but their economy is not that great, to say the least. But as a result, RuneScape Gold carries almost more economical value than the Venezuelan dollar, or whatever the equivalent is. That being said, like, there are people that will literally turn playing RuneScape into a job in order to real-world trade the gold and actually make more than they'd otherwise make doing a normal job in Venezuela. Yeah, it's bad, man. It's really bad. But yeah, in RuneScape now, you basically have, basically clans of people, that are playing out of Venezuela. That, basically claim sections of the game, more or less, for the purpose of getting stuff, getting rare items and things. So, like, you'll just have a group of 20 plus people just camping one area of the wilderness, and they're just making bank, and I can't hate them for it. They're trying to survive. I actually, I sympathize with them. I actually know a couple of them. We chat back and forth. And it's like, they've got to do what they've got to do, man. Like, I'm not going to hate them for it. It is against the game's rules, but even Jagex, the creators, like, they seem to turn something of a blind eye to it, oddly enough. Like, it's obvious who's doing it for that purpose, and they're not really calling them out as actively, I'd say. Yeah, so they trade in-game items to trade for... Yeah, they basically... So, basically you have websites and stuff that, are like the black market, more or less, where, you can buy like, gold for the game and things like that. And it's like, yeah, they'll just sell a bunch of their items and then sell their gold to these, third-party websites, basically. These black market websites. And that's how they make money. It's like, if you can make 50 cents or whatever by selling, 1 million gold, it's like, well, that's better than a lot of options, what is it? Like, yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, yeah, hold up. I'll go ahead. Yeah, here's an article, actually. This is a pretty famous article now. Hold up. Yeah, how RuneScape is helping Venezuelans survive, by Matt Ombler. I guess that's how you say it. But yeah, 90% of Venezuelans are now living in poverty, in one of the most extreme and sustained periods of hyperinflation ever recorded. Means that people working minimum wage jobs are earning the equivalent of $5 a month. That's insane. But the thing is, because of that, like, you know, you figure if they can sell 1 million gold in game and profit, you know, 50 cents in US dollars, like basically profit 50 cents in US dollars, they're already making far more than they otherwise would a month. Yeah, like it's crazy. So there's a lot of people, and it goes in, yeah. Over time, my salary became less than $4 a month, and I just couldn't do it anymore, says this person. Yeah, he told Polygon he earned $450 by gold farming in RuneScape and used it to flee Venezuela and move to Peru. And it's like, yeah, it's just like, it's crazy, man. Like, it's crazy that a virtual economy somehow works better than an economy in real life. Like, an economy based around exploring, doing quests, and killing monsters is somehow more viable than an actual economy. It's the craziest stuff, but that's just how that's how crazy the world is now, man. Like, yeah, the RuneScape. Actually, RuneScape is having a bit of a crash right now, like a market crash. Some high level players like dumped a bunch of like rare items on the market, and it kind of like threw everything out of whack. So a bunch of like rare expensive items are just like dropping in price. But yeah, at the time of writing, 1 million RuneScape gold sells for 63 cents. That being said, it's a lot less now. Honestly, 1 million gold on the black market goes for about, like I said, about 50 cents. So it has dropped, but still, 50 cents or 63 cents, however much, that's still pretty good. Like, that's still good, man. But it's like, yeah, my first job was smelting runite bars at the blast furnace. I was making close to 75 cents an hour, over $150 a month. Because that's the thing, yeah, it's like, especially once you reach a higher level, like, you can easily earn over 1 million gold a day, more or less. Like right now with my account, if I just, like, camp at gargoyles, and just, like, kill gargoyles repeatedly, like, I can easily pull off probably, I mean, if it's good, then, like, yeah, if you're making your, 9 to 5 playing RuneScape. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and especially, like, you know, it's like with their economy, it's just like, goodness. But yeah, it's like, it's crazy stuff, man. Like, but like I said, you know, like with a higher level account, it's like you can just camp at gargoyles or just a higher level monster like that, get rare drops. Like, you can easily pull, like, depending on the drop rate, you know, if you get good drops, like, you can easily pull, like, 2 million gold a day, you know? It's like, yeah, that's how some of these people are able to just, like, make bank, more or less, like, you know, basically $450 or whatever off of gold farming. Because, like, once you get to a certain point, you can basically just, you make so much money. Like, you make so much gold. Like, you know. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, 50 cents in our context, like here, like, you know, in the U.S., it's like, you know, 50 cents is 50 cents. That buys you half a pack of gum. But in Venezuela, it's like 50 cents U.S. dollar, that goes a long way. You know what I mean? Like, that's actual money. That's actual money that can be used. Like, you know, it adds up. But, you know, it's like 50 cents doesn't sound like a lot. And, you know, us here, it's like, we don't necessarily have to sell gold on the market. There's no need, you know. You know, the money that we use is, it doesn't quite go as far as it would in Venezuela. Yeah, it's probably 1 million Bolivar at this point. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, it's hard to tell, man, like, but it's just like, yeah, it just, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to think though, man, like, you know. And I mean, you know, and there's similar articles about, like, World of Warcraft and other MMOs. Like, RuneScape's not the only one that is being targeted in this, but, you know, I wouldn't even necessarily say targeted. Like, you know, and that's the sad bit. It's like, yeah, it's against the game's rules, but, you know, there is a human component to it. Like, they're doing what they're doing not because they just want to like break the game's rules. They're doing it because they kind of have to, and there's something to be considered about that. Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, RuneScape's the one that I'm most familiar with anyway. I'm trying to think. Actually, there was recently. Sorry, I'm getting a little tangent again. There was recently. But yeah, there was recently a pretty mass battle between, because the thing is, and it's actually pretty sad, but there were certain like PK clans, like player killing clans, that would specifically target like players that they thought were like Venezuelan, and basically just harass them and do a bunch of bad stuff. But like one of the more prominent PK clans were in what's the place called? It's the Revenant Caves. One of the prominent PK clans were all like in one of the Revenant Caves at the time, but a collaborated group of Venezuelan players actually ganged together. It was like well over 100 of like Venezuelan players all ganged together and like took out this group of like 20 like PKers in the Revenant Caves. It was like a big deal. It was like this like war basically between the Venezuelans and the PKers. Like it was like, yeah. And it like hasn't really been officially addressed, but yeah, it's just like, it's crazy. You basically have like actual sort of wars being played out in RuneScape, and it's just like, goodness, like how far is this going to go? Like, yeah, the Great RuneScape Civil War. Yeah, I was going to say, like, there's a couple of like, and I doubt just because of like the the politics behind it and everything. Like, I doubt Jagex is going to like officially announce it. I'm trying to think, like the player base were calling it like the what were they calling it? Like basically just the Revenant Wars or something. But the Venezuelans obviously won. It was basically 100 of them versus like 20 PKers. But what do you call them? No, another incident that's, I mean, unrelated, but they actually did like fit canonically into the game. Back in when was it? It was like early RuneScape, like 2006. Yeah, here we go. Like back in 2006, like there was just like this bug that occurred, but it would later become known as the Falador Massacre. Sorry, I'm on a tangent again. But basically, there was this glitch. One player was the first to achieve 99 construction, but as a result, for whatever reason, like the game basically crashed. It booted all of the people out of his player-owned house, and it left their combat privileges to on. So you basically had a bunch of random players that were just able to PK anywhere in the world. But yeah. Many players who gained this ability against RuneScape's rules took advantage of it by attacking other players in the crowded cities. But Falador was the main location. That's where all the players were dropped at. Yeah, it doesn't sound correct. Yeah. Eventually, the players who took advantage of the bug were then given black marks, and those who killed a large number of players were automatically banned. I was going to say, there was one player in particular that, like, basically prompted people to, like, actually actively attack people, and I think it was Duriel. Yeah, the glitch occurred immediately after the house party hosted by the first player to achieve 99 construction cursed you. Due to the large number of players attending, the lag inside the house became severe to the point at which the host was forced to boot all of the guests. The players that were inside the combat ring at the time of dismissal, including Duriel 321, were then able to attack other players anywhere in the world
spreading to Falador, Edgeville, Remington, and Draenor Village. The victims could not retaliate unless they had been affected by the glitch. The bug was not caused by the enormous amount of people in the house at the time of expulsion, but rather by an error in the coding of the construction skill. The killing lasted almost an hour before moderators were notified. It's just like, it's like goodness. Yeah, I was going to say, man, like, dude, this was my game when I was a kid, and like I've just gotten back into it, like with like COVID and stuff. Like, dude, like I remember this stuff, like as far as like this here and like some other stuff, like it's awesome. Aftermath: the bug was fixed and Jagex permanently banned many players. Mod Peter apologized to the victims who were attacked from the glitch, but no items were recovered, nor was the game rolled back. Yep, that's about right. But yeah, like legit, then they like actually like they took this event and actually like canonized it within the lore of the game. Like there's quests and everything like surrounding the Falador massacre. It's like great. Like they like like they added it to the RuneScape canon. Like yeah, it's been recognized as a historical event that actually took place in Gilinor's history. Canonically, the event took place between the Siege of Falador and the start of the Sixth Age. The official date of the event. It's just like, it's crazy. I was gonna... They admitted they screwed up and made it a meme. Yeah, it's just like they took it and just like ran with it. Like even then, like the 10th anniversary, it was cool because they actually had a raid that was Duriel 321. The event then proceeded in 2 stages. In the first stage, players in the area would randomly be possessed by the ghost of Duriel 321 and able to attack other players with either an Abyssal Whip, Ancient Staff, or Dragon Dagger, with victims unable to fight back. While a second stage, a giant boss version of Duriel 321 would appear, which players could fight. It's like goodness. It's funny when stuff like that happens and like game devs like roll with it. Like there's a couple of examples of that in like World of Warcraft and other games too, where it's just like something messed up, but then they decided to like, we'll just leave it in because the players seem to like it. Like it's like a historical moment. So it's just kind of like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool when developers like know their audience. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, people got upset about the Falador massacre, but there were so many other people that were like just so shocked that it like even happened that it just became history. Like, it's great, man. But yeah, there's so many cool things about RuneScape, man. Like old school, yeah, and it's like that was back when RuneScape wasn't separated into 2 games. You basically have modern RuneScape, which is RuneScape 3. Which, and then you have old school RuneScape, which is basically a recreation of like the old game that people are familiar with. It's like RuneScape 3 has a lot more in common with World of Warcraft, and also a bunch of paid transactions. Yeah, not going to go too much further into that, but yeah, modern RuneScape is filled with microtransactions and. Yeah, a bunch of nonsense. Whereas, like, old school RuneScape's like, I just want to play the game and have fun. Like, I just want to level up. I don't want to have to deal with cosmetics and, like, random nonsense. It's like, just let me do a raid with some friends on the weekend. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, why complicate things? Like, they already had a good game. Why did they have to try to monetize it more? And even then now, the number of people playing RuneScape 3 is very small, but it's a very small dedicated audience. Whereas, like, old school RuneScape has such a massive audience still. Like, more people play old school RuneScape than they do RuneScape 3. And the dollar signs associated with both also equate to that. While the money that they make off of RuneScape 3 is better in terms of like a per player basis, RuneScape or old school RuneScape makes so much more just because there's so many more players. Like, because I mean, you have the option to buy membership. That's true for old school RuneScape and modern RuneScape. But in
old school RuneScape, you actually have the option to buy bonds, which are basically membership that cost gold instead of your money. So you could spend 5 million gold to buy membership for like a couple weeks. You know what I mean? So, you know, there's a lot of people that do that. And, you know, most higher level players do that. Like, I mean, that's what I do at this point. You know, I'm able to make more than enough gold to be able to afford the in-game, like, membership, more or less. You know, starting out, you know, and that's what it amounts to, is like a lot of people will buy membership until they can afford to buy like the in-game equivalent, more or less. Although some people just straight out just keep buying membership, that way they can save their gold. You know, I'm not too concerned. I'm sitting over here with level like 105 smithing. So I'm just like, I've got all the money. Smithing is such an underrated skill. Like, dude, once you hit 99 smithing, yeah, exactly. It is. Like, it works. It works really well. Like, there's incentives to, like, you know, start early, you know, with your membership. Go ahead and just pay for it, you know, with actual money. And then, like, higher level players, they can either do that if they want to save their gold, or, you know, they have the option, if they really want, to basically blow their gold on, you know, affording membership, more or less. But yeah. Once you hit 99 smithing, though, that rune armor crafting is that's a market right there. You can pull easy like 600k gold per hour off of that. And it's like, it's the easiest thing ever. All you have to do is basically just click on the bank, get your ore or get your metal out, and then just like push the anvil that's literally in the next room. And it's like, yes, the easiest. It's like legit the easiest task. Like, you basically click once every like 30 seconds. Like, it's the most like simple thing to do, but you get so much gold out of it. It's like, but yeah. I mean, there's so many different ways to make gold in RuneScape, though. Like, at one point I was, like, glass making, but not with normal glass making methods. I am a connoisseur de la lunar magic. So I've got a nice little spell where it's like, oh, I've got sand in my inventory, Gotti. And it turns all of the sand to glass. Just like, yes. I would like to purchase, I would like to purchase 10,000 buckets of sand, please. It's like the dumbest thing. It's just like going around trying to buy sand off people. And it's like, I don't know, honestly, it's a technique that I haven't seen very often. Like, I don't see very many people using the glass make, spell. But it's, so useful. It's like you basically just take buckets of glass and buckets of sand and turn it into glass in your inventory. It's like, yes, I converted this 50 gold item into a 300 gold item. That's instant profit. Why aren't people doing this? Not to mention you get magic experience, which is hard to come by. It's like, goodness. I don't know. There's so many cool things about Old School RuneScape. I definitely recommend it. if you have the aptitude. That's actually, yeah, my man's doing business. Yeah, man. It's like, just find some random dude selling 10,000 buckets of sand or some nonsense. It's like, I'm gonna buy that off you. But yeah, highly recommend Old School RuneScape, man. Yeah, Old School RuneScape's great. Oh yeah. If you do join, hit me up in the Reddits, and you could join my raid guild, more or less. I was gonna say, yeah, just add it in the add it in the stream a little bit. Join my raid guild today with this invite code. Goodness. Now, I was going to say, it takes a while to, and that's the other problem with RuneScape. It takes a bit to get to the point where, you get to the fun stuff. A lot of the early stuff is, tedious, sort of just, leveling quests, where it's like, oh, alright, I'm going to just kind of have to, kill a bunch of enemies to level up, because, yeah. Unfortunately, and one thing that I wish that they would do is focus on more, mid-game content. Because, a lot of the newer content now is basically late-game stuff, which makes sense, because,
given the age of the game, there's a lot of people that they want to keep around, like the really high level people, you know, and they're gonna have to have content, you know, to keep them around. You know what I mean? But also, it's like I feel like they neglect sort of the early and mid game a bit. Like, I don't know. I mean, you basically have like two like main sort of like mid-level, like mid-range sort of bosses. You basically have Sarachnis, which is like a spider thing. I've never tried to fight it. I hear it's actually pretty good. It's a pretty cool fight. But then you also have the Barrows brothers, which is like a series of bosses that you have to fight. But again, you know, they are actually better to fight. I actually really enjoy fighting them. But it's like, that's pretty much it, unfortunately, for like early to mid game. And it's kind of sad that there isn't more option, especially like as a group. Like really the only like group content right now is like in-game stuff. Like God War's Dungeon and like Theater of Blood. Like all of those are like in-game and like they're group activities, but like there's not a whole lot of like group stuff, you know, that early in, and it's like, kind of stinks. Like you could do Sarachnis as a group, but it's not worth doing it as a group, unfortunately. And even then, Barrows Brothers is solo, so you don't even have the option to do it as a group. So it's like, you know, there's not a whole lot of options, unfortunately, until you get later into the game, as far as like group stuff. So that kind of stinks. I don't know. I guess they're doing what they're gonna do. If only I were on the dev team. Shout out to Jagex, please hire me. I'd come up with all the early content, all the cool early content. Well, I don't know. I guess the gist is like they want you to do the quests early on. Like that's why they don't have a lot of other stuff. Like they want you to focus on quests starting out, which makes sense. But it's also like, you know, you can't really do quests with other people. There are, alright, I will say, there are certain quests that you do as a group, but it's only like 3 quests, and they're like in the same series. Like you basically have the Shield of Arav or whatever, and then you've got like the Legend, like the Heroes quest, I think is like a group one. But like, it's like 2 to 3 quests out of like several hundred. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's the thing with like, because I've tried to play like World of Warcraft and some others in the past, and it's like that's the problem that I always ran across. It's just like there's just not enough to do for me outside of quests, because like with games like, you know, well like RuneScape with like on World of Warcraft. Like, I like to just, like, do just open world exploration stuff, like, to, like, level up. I don't want to have to be forced to do a bunch of quests to actually enjoy the game. You know, like, I want to take the quests at my own, in my own terms at my own time. Like, but unfortunately a lot of MMOs, like World of Warcraft included, it's like, unless you're doing quests, like, you're making such little progress that it's like completely just unviable. You know, you can't just like kill orcs or whatever for like a few hours and make any progress. Like when you could like literally do one quest and make as much, if not more, experience. Like there's no point in doing anything outside of quests. And that's something that I really don't like about most MMOs. Like there's no reason to grind because you could just do so much better if you just do quests. It's like, maybe I don't want to do quests. Maybe I don't have time to do a quest. Maybe I just want to just fight things. Hey, you got to do boring stuff to progress, so then you can get to the cool stuff. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I don't like it. Like, what do you call them? Like, yeah, Mitch and I, we've still been, well, Mitch and I and another friend, like, we've still been playing Genshin Impact. Like, yeah, my other friend, he's basically done every quest. Like, he's basically at the end of the game, practically. Mitchell, he's just starting out. He's doing some quests. But, like, as far as, like, it can't be that hard for all. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, at least make the stuff leading up to this cool stuff also cool. Because that's the thing with Genshin Impact. Like, I'm literally basically level locked now in that game because I just haven't done quests. Like, I'm still on chapter 1 of the quests, but my adventure rank is like 46, and I think it only goes up to 55. I'm already almost max adventure rank, and I've just not done quests, and now I can't do anything in game because you have to have quest requirements. It's like, oh, cool. Like, what did I spend all this time grinding for if now I can't even do the cool events and stuff? Like, I literally would have to play like 20 hours or something of quests just to be able to play the new events. But it's like, I've nearly maxed my adventure rank. Is that worth nothing? You know what I mean? It's like my adventure rank's almost maxed. Why do I have to have this one random quest by this one side character that is like 20 hours into the quest line? It's like, I don't want to do that. And it's like, oh, well, I guess I'll just miss out on all the events and free stuff because, like, well, sorry, I just don't want to play your game. I just don't want to play your game. I don't like the quests. Yeah. See, yeah, exactly. It's just like, I don't want to do the quests. They're not the fun part. I like to explore, fight things, grind for the experience. But it's just like, they don't let me. They straight don't let me. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. But yeah, it's like, you know, Genshin Impact, World of Warcraft, like a lot of games, like even RuneScape to some measure. Like, I will say they have at least some content early on that's fun. But, like, they're still definitely lacking. But, yeah, there's just, like, the problem is you essentially have, like, you know, especially games that are, like, you know, like World of Warcraft or RuneScape, where it's, like, 10 plus years, you have this one dedicated group of players that literally will continue to play indefinitely given the option. And they're the ones that more or less are able to dictate what content is coming out, more or less, because it's like, you know, they're not going to want to play earlier content. Like, there's no point. Like, why would they want to go and kill the Goblin King or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, why would they want to kill the Goblin King who gives, like, a, you know, just a common drop item when they could be killing, like, the Lich King? They could just kill the Lich King and get, like end-game content. Like, there's no point to try to keep the high-leveled people entertained by having lower-level content come out. Like, there's no point to the lower-level content for them, and they're not going to like that. So, it's not going to keep them entertained. And the problem is, you only have so many resources to be able to make content, you know, as far as, like, you know, what, Blizzard Entertainment? Like, they only have so many resources that they can draw from to make new content. Like, you know, they don't have so many teams. So, you might have a team working on this or that, but you're not necessarily going to have a dedicated team working on end-game content versus new game, you know, new player content. It's like, that's the problem with it. That's why I much prefer games that are actually finished. Just give me Dark Souls. It's a finished game. And you don't have to worry about any kind of microtransactions or pay-to-win gaps. Yeah, just give me Dark Souls or something. You know, don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about an incomplete game. Because that's what MMOs basically are. MMOs are basically an incomplete game. Like, if you think about it, like, they're a game that they're still releasing content for. Like, it's a game that's not finished. Like, and that's the problem with a non-finished game. It's just like, it's hard to sort of balance. Could play some MMOs. I could play Dark Souls. Yeah, exactly. It's like I could spend hours playing World of Warcraft to gain 2 levels. Or I could just have fun playing Dark Souls because I like playing Dark Souls. like that's what it unfortunately comes down to. It's just like, the time commitment to play most MMOs is just insane. And I will say, I mean, I've dumped a good, decent number of hours into RuneScape. But the thing is, most of what I do in RuneScape is like AFK stuff, like away from keyboard stuff. So like really easy tasks like smithing, where it's like literally I'll click here once every 30 seconds. You know what I mean? And it's like, then the character just does his thing. Whereas, like, I don't know, certain games like World of Warcraft, like, there's no way to do that. Like, unfortunately, like, any time devoted into, like, a game like World of Warcraft is time devoted into World of Warcraft. It's hard to do other stuff and play World of Warcraft. Whereas with RuneScape, it's like, oh, cool. I can click on this one tree. My character will cut that same tree for a solid 5 minutes. 5 minutes of which I can go to the restroom, get a drink of water, and literally do anything else. So you can dump thousands of hours into playing RuneScape without even playing RuneScape. You know what I mean? Like, that's the great thing about that MMO, and that's why I've stuck around with it. It's just like, it's such an easy game to play at its base. But then you can also do cool stuff, like, oh, I'm going to do a raid with my dudes. You know, I'll be stuck doing this raid for like an hour. It's super intense gameplay. And it's like, that's cool. But also, it's cool that, like, when you do want to play, but don't want to take the time for it, best part, you don't gotta play. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, the more tedious stuff, you don't even have to play it. Like, it's great. But yeah, but, like, when you don't want to actually play the game, but like, you still, like, want to make progress in the game, so you can enjoy the fun stuff that's more active, like, you can do that. Like, okay, I'm going to cut trees for a while. I'll click on this tree for, like, once every 5 minutes or however long. And that will make progress for the character, and thus make it to where I can have fun doing raids and other cool stuff. Whereas, like, with World of Warcraft, you're kind of stuck playing the game the entire time. Even the tedious, boring stuff. And that's no fun. No bueno. No bueno. It's just like, I don't want to have to kill, like, what are they, the skeevers or whatever? Like, the little fish guys? No, the murlocs. What's a skeever? Skeever's D&D. No, skeever. Is that D&D? I don't know. The murlocs. I don't want to have to kill, like, 100 murlocs again. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fun. I don't want to kill murlocs for, like, 5 quests. But that's what I'm going to have to do. And there's no way to make it, like, just pass by quickly. Like, I have to watch and press buttons the entire time I'm killing, like, 100 murlocs. And it's like, no. I don't want to do that. Why can't I just click on one murloc, and then I fight all of the murlocs? Oh, yeah, skeevers are Skyrim. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, skeevers are from Skyrim. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking, yeah, the murlocs. But, like, legit, why can't, like, I just click on one murloc, and then my character just fights the murlocs as they approach? Like, I don't want to have to keep clicking the skills to activate them. I don't want to have to do that. That's the great thing with RuneScape. There's literally no skills. Like, you have spells that you can use, sure, but you can set it to autocast. Or you have special weapons, or special attacks for your weapons, and it's like, I don't even have to use them. My dude would just attack if I set him to auto-retaliate. Like, it's great. Like, it's like, I don't want to have to 100% focus on this game, because it's not that type of game. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, alright. It might just be my take on MMOs. Like, some people find enjoyment in, like, the grind of, like, a traditional MMO like World of Warcraft, where it's like, you know, I'm intentionally choosing to play this wholeheartedly. I'm not going to take my time to do other stuff. Like, this is the game I'm choosing to play. But, like, I'm very much the type of MMO person where it's like, I want there to be activities where I can still somewhat progress, just at a much slower pace, while also, you know, because the thing is, like, I don't want to spend 500 plus hours playing World of Warcraft to be able to get to, like, the end game stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be as bad if I've been playing it all this time, but now that it's, like, so much later, it's like, I don't want to spend, like, 500 hours to get up to where everybody else is at. And even then, by the time I get up to there, the other people that are up to there are going to be getting new content, which is going to put them even further up. So it's a thing of, like,
you kind of just miss the boat. Like when it comes to most MMOs. Whereupon I was gonna say, yeah, like honestly, the only MMO that I've really played like wholeheartedly is RuneScape. That's the only one that I've really gotten into, simply because like it's not a time just a time sink, you know? Like I don't have to worry about dumping 500 useless hours into getting to the point where I can actually have fun, you know? Like I can spend, I mean, it's still hours, like it's still time, but like it's nothing to click on a tree once every 5 minutes versus actively having to kill 100 murlocs or some nonsense. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, you want to kill the same orcs again for this quest for some reason? I was gonna say Warframe was pretty cool. Yeah, actually, I tried it, but like, I don't know. I couldn't. I didn't take the time to like really get into it. Another one that I actually did play. I wouldn't necessarily call it an MMO as much as it was just like a. I mean, it was basically like a party like PvE style thing. Called Vindictus. Vindictus was pretty cool. It was basically like you have different different characters that have different classes, and you basically just joined up with parties and like just cleared dungeons basically. And it was like, nice. It's like, oh, cool. I want a game that I can just like do just a dungeon with a group of friends or something. And it takes like 10 minutes. It's like, hey, I'll take it. Like, you know, it's definitely like a lower commitment. Like you could spend a bunch of hours like to power level and stuff, but you could still have just as much fun. Like, dude, I remember I was playing with the one ranger class guy, and it was great when I figured out how to like transition to melee kills with that guy. It's like legit, it was so cool. Like you would like legit just basically just like rush dudes, slam them against the wall, and then just like shoot them with an arrow. It was so cool. It's like melee finishers, man. Like, yeah, Vindictus, that was a cool game. A couple of friends and I used to play it back in the day. I don't even know if is it still active? I'm assuming it probably is. I can't imagine they would have ended. Too much, yeah, too much stuff. Too much doing stuff, absolutely. But yeah, I was going to say, yeah, back in the day, Vindictus was a fun game. We've been talking about RuneScape. I was going to say, sorry, yeah, I was going to say I was planning on wrapping up early, but then I've gotten on a tangent. There it is, Vindictus. Yeah, I forgot I uninstalled it. I hadn't played it for a while. Oh no, did they monetize it to heck? Oh no, they did! No! No! Vindictus, you were the chosen one! No! No, not a swimsuit event! No! No, you ruined my game! I know another fallen brother. No! Oh, how much do the swimsuits cost? That's going to determine how monetized this game is now. I have a feeling it's very monetized though. Oh no. Number of coupons. Oh, what are they talking about? Coupons. Oh no. If you need coupons for in-app purchases, then that's a sign that your stuff's too expensive. How dare they add swimsuits? Yeah, I was gonna say I can't find a price. I'm imagining it's probably in game, right? Like in in the game menu. Vindictus swimsuit cost. Sorry, now I'm just googling. Oh no. How much is the shop/prices in this game, Vindictus? If you want a full custom character, it's going to be around $20. This includes hair, makeup, underwear. Okay, if you have the option to change a character's underwear, then you know it's gone too far. Yeah, pain. Yeah, that's when you know it's gone too far. Is if you have the option to buy. What's the dumbest thing? It's it's hard. It's a bit hard to believe. There's only wait 50. Oh yeah, there's 50 different outfits per character roughly. Underwear's have prices between $5 and $10. It's like what in the world, man? No, they ruined it. It was cool. It used to be so cool. Cause like you could like legit like oh. What happened to like what happened to the armor? Like the armor used to be so cool. Like even the ranger, like the female ranger character or whatever, like legit had like leather and like plate armor stuff, and it was awesome. But I guess they dumped it for the sake of making money off of people needing to get, I don't know, waifu material. I don't know. Such is the downfall of many a great MMO. It's still cool, maybe. You just got $10 virtual underwear, yeah. You know, as most people should be happy in purchasing. It's like the dumbest thing, man. Like, I don't know. Like, man, I'm trying to think of which MMO is like literally the worst when it comes to microtransactions. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know enough about MMOs in general to like really know like which MMOs are like, I don't know, just actually like renowned for how bad their microtransactions are. I mean, you know, you have World of Warcraft, which is already kind of meh. Like when it comes to like in-game purchases and stuff, like you've got, I mean, you could basically buy a maxed level character, or at least you used to be able to. I wonder. Sorry, I'm on a tangent again. Can you buy max leveled characters in World of Warcraft still? I think that's still a thing, because you used to be able to. Like, if you just wanted to buy your way to, like, a maxed character, like, you could do that back then. And it's like, that was already, like, alright, this is just money. You know, this is, you know, for the people that don't want to spend 500 hours, here's your, however, yeah, Warframe isn't really bad at all. Got a currency you can pay for. Really used for trading. That's the thing. Like, I actually don't mind MMOs and games like that, where like a lot of the reason to do it is like either cosmetic stuff or just stuff to sort of like speed up the process. The thing that I don't like is when purchasing stuff literally gives you an advantage. So like whether it's like an actual item that you purchase, which is common in some, you know, a good number of MMOs, really. Like, I don't know, insert, sort of sci-fi space MMO, for example. It's like, you can just spend money, you can just spend like $50 and get like an end game, like, starfighter, like Star Cruiser or something. And it's like, okay, so why would I actually spend time to play the game if this other dude can just like buy like 50 of these and just wreck everything? Like what's the point? There's, you know, there's like an actual gap in like ability, and it's not because of like I'm just not playing good enough or playing enough. It's like, oh, he just happens to have extra expendable money to spend on the game. It's like, I hate that kind of stuff, man. I actually hate that kind of stuff. World of Warcraft, max level boost. Count to 50. Oh, I wonder if they changed that. Character boost can be purchased through the in-game shop, currently priced $60. Okay, it's not as much as I was anticipating, honestly. So $60 gets you what? Okay. Okay, so $60 in World of Warcraft gets you a character boosted. to 110 by the looks of it, with the purchase of the Battle of Azeroth expansion or the World of Warcraft Complete Collection. Oh, actually, so if you buy the World of Warcraft Complete Collection, then you can actually boost your character to level 120, which I think is currently the max, like the max level. So Complete Collection includes Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, so on and so forth. 30-day game time, character boost. All right, well if that's the case, how much does it cost to buy the Complete Collection? Well, Complete Collection. Yeah. Complete Collection. Can you even buy that still? I don't know. Complete Collection. Can't buy World of Warcraft Complete Collection. No, it's currently unavailable. Never mind. Well, that stinks. Well, so much for that. Guess you have to buy all of them individually, which is a solid like $300 investment to get all the expansion packs and stuff. It's like, oh well, that's cool. It'd be nice if I could just buy the Complete Collection for like $10. That would be the way that I would play World of Warcraft. It's just like, yeah, not worth. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I don't even know how much. Like, the thing is, like, what? World of Warcraft probably has, like, I don't know, the base game and probably at least, like, 8 expansions by now. Like, probably at least 8 expansions. And I imagine each one of those is at least $30. So, add that up. Plus, I think, the $20 a month, like, fee? Like, I think they still have a membership fee, right? I think it's like $20 a month or something for the membership. $15 a month. So $15 a month on top of buying all of the expansions. So to get into World of Warcraft is pretty expensive. I remember when I played it, they were doing like a free trial thing. You could like basically play it and level up to level 20, like all free to play. For like a few month period or something. I remember I was a paladin, or I think, yeah, paladin, I think is a class. I was basically the sword, armor, magic, Healy knight. I'm pretty sure they just call it a paladin in World of Warcraft too. I don't know why I'm overthinking it. But I got to like level 20. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just play Dark Souls. Yeah, I will absolutely just play Dark Souls. Goodness. Speaking of which, you probably haven't seen yet. Hold up. Sorry, I'm getting distracted again. I don't know if you've seen, but I did change up the graphics a bit for, what do you call them? So I added the pyromancy hand in place of the candle. Wherever that's at. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, like that little bit of pixel work. But I basically just replaced the candle icon for the just a hand with a flame over it, more or less. I think it turned out pretty neat. Yeah, dude. So nice little pyro hand. Let me think. What else did I change out? Oh, I changed out the rupees. So now the rupees are all souls. So it is into the theme of what we actually want instead of Zelda. But yeah, there's definitely a good little bit of work to do on this still. But I'm hoping to have it done within like the next month or so. And I'm hoping we'll actually have it like playable by like September. Because right now, as far as like the schedule, it's going along pretty nice. It's gonna take a little bit of work as far as like finishing it out, but
since most of the areas are sort of mapped out roughly now, it shouldn't be as bad. Plus, you could start to sort of get ideas and stuff on paper that you might not be able to if you didn't have some of the map already sort of established. But what do you call them? The agenda as of right now. So it sounds like we're probably going to be doing Halo for a few streams. We'll be doing some other stuff. We'll probably get back and do the DLC probably sometime next month would be my guess. For Dark Souls 3. That'll probably be like 3 streams probably. Like I'm hoping once we actually level up Joe, like off screen a bit, like we'll just like wreck shop with the DLC. I'm hoping that is the case. But once that's done, once we actually do that, in October, if you are familiar with Bloodborne, every October, the players have sort of a player-ran event, more or less, Return to Yarnam. So we're actually planning on maybe doing some Bloodborne come October. Not only does it fit with the spooky, scary theme that October generally is associated with, but also Return to Yarnam, there's going to be a lot more players. We might have some more interaction, like with people. Either they'll be joining us, we'll join them. Yeah, spooky. But yeah, Return to Yarnam would be really fun. We always have done Return to Yarnam, either together or, separate. Like, pretty much one of us has always, played Bloodborne in October, like, during the Return to Yarnam event. Because it's just cool. It's like, oh, cool. You got a bunch of people playing it again. Like, so you got a bunch of, like, new people. Because the other thing is, like, with Return to Yarnam, everybody is supposed to create new characters and, like, basically replay the game. So you basically have everybody starting at and, like, around, like, the same, soul level. I mean, it's, basically hunter level in Bloodborne, but it's really cool because it's just like, that was something that was just player driven. It's not like an official thing that was prompted by the company, or the developers rather. But yeah, Bloodborne probably in October, and then I guess we'll see from there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what else we're able to take time and be able to play. I'm thinking Mitchell still, I think he's going to be leaving sometime in December. So either December or early January, I think. So we'll have to kind of come up with something to do after that. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Yeah. Yep, definitely want to make good use of the time while he's still around and such. I don't know. As far as, like, I don't know, debating on what to do sort of like once it is just like solo exclusive. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely have some thoughts. Like, I would actually not be opposed whatsoever to actually bringing my grandfather on to play some Zelda games. Like, I would be totally down for that, and I think he would really enjoy that too. Because he likes to talk about those games. I like to talk about those games. We would collectively be talking to each other about those games, and as a result, get the chat involved. Of course, but yeah, I'm thinking along those lines. Like with CoopCouchGaming, I want it to be like, it's like, this is a thing that's meant to be like a collaborative, like, sort of 2-person thing. Like, I'm not very good when it comes to, like, solo streams. I'm not the worst, but it's definitely not my comfort zone, if you will, to just be talking to myself or talking to, chat, more or less. Like, it's not exactly, it's not natural, if you will. Whereas, like, when it's me and Mitchell on stream, it's like, we could play off each other and then play off chat, and it's like, it's a dynamic. Whereas, like, when it's like me just talking to a camera in front of me, it's like I know there's people behind it, in chat, listening, Jack, for example. But it's also like, I don't know, it's not the same, you know what I mean? Whereas like, you know, having somebody next to you to sort of play off of, like with the, you know, what's going on with the jokes, like it's a dynamic that I very much like. You know, and you know, you probably are well aware, like, you know, a lot of our inspiration as far as like what we like and why we're streaming the way we are with YouTube and stuff, like Game Grumps. Like, I love Game Grumps. Mitchell, he likes Game Grumps. Like, they definitely are like inspiration for like sort of the setup and style of stream that we're trying to aim for. Yeah, it's a very good dynamic. But yeah, it's like that's definitely where we took a lot of inspiration from, as far as like sort of make it fun to watch, but like make it just as fun to be able to podcast. Like, basically make it to where it's like, okay, I just want to like listen to some dudes just making jokes and having fun, or like talking about like, I don't know, thoughts on the world or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you know, make it fun to listen to as much as it is fun to watch. And I feel like that is done so much better with, you know, two people, you know, or at least two people, you know what I mean? Because, like, you know, like, I don't know if you've seen Game Grumps very much, but like some of the solo streams or like solo videos, you know, that they have on the channel, like, they're okay. Like, the dynamic, though, between Aaron and Danny, though, that is what a lot of people come to know and come to watch, as opposed to like, oh, you know, Aaron's playing Chrono Trigger. Meh, it's okay. We'll listen to him talk for a bit. Or, you know, Danny playing, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely not as strong solo. Yeah, just because of how the dynamic is. Like, it's just a very strong dynamic to be able to play off of, you know, each other, more or less. But anyway, all that being said, and to sort of wrapping it up, like, I want to make it to where, like, even once Mitchell does, you know, ship out, like, I want to keep CoopCouchGaming still CoopCouchGaming. So, like, I want to bring people on to the show, you know, to bring people in to, you know, be a part of this. You know, like I said, you know, if, you know, we wanted to play some Zelda stuff, like, I can bring my grandfather on. He would love that. Like, he would honestly love that. And plus, like, you know, back before, what was it? Yeah, gotta keep it cooping. Exactly. Like, yeah, it's gotta be just dudes on a couch. Like, it's just gotta be people on a couch. Like, but what do you call them? Back before, like, Miiverse, I think it was. That was, like the DS, like, Wii U era, I think. Like, DS, or 3DS, rather. Like, Miiverse. Like, he would go on Miiverse and, like, you know, you can ask questions and stuff. But, like, he would just, like, answer people. You know, he would, like, answer questions and stuff that, like, you know, kids and stuff would have. And, it, like, he really enjoyed that dynamic of, like, or he really enjoyed that, like, being able to, like, you know, this wise sage, like, yes, I've played the original NES and all of them leading up till now. You know, I know the knowledge. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm trying to think of what, but yeah, what do you call him? Now, he was basically known on those, on Miiverse, more or less, as, like, the Zelda granddad or something. And, like, he actually had a little bit of reputation behind him. Like, it was pretty funny to listen to him talk about it. It's just, like, people would actually come to him with questions and stuff about the old games. It's like the, you know, people playing, like, Wind Waker HD and stuff, like, you know, now in the modern era. And it's like, yes, I know the knowledge. I played this back on the GameCube. And it's like, oh, that's so cute. You played the original one on the GameCube. I'm not even as old as the GameCube. But yeah, it's awesome. Like, dude, yeah, he's such a great guy, and, like, yeah, I think that he would really enjoy popping onto stream and sort of getting to chat with stream and chat with me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, like, he's definitely one that I would see being a really cool guest, you know. But yeah, like, I'll have to come up with some ideas. Like, That's the thing. Like, I don't want to make every stream a solo me stream. Just, it's not going to work out as well. Like, that is not my forte. So, I definitely want to focus on the Coop aspect, the co-op, like, you know, having guests, having people to interact with. Make it interesting. Yeah. I want to maintain that dynamic as much as possible, even in the absence of Mitchell. You know what I mean? So, just have to see if it plays out. Yeah. I'd prefer not to watch CoopCouchGaming crash and burn. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to watch CoopCouchGaming crash and burn if we can help it. But I guess we'll see. Time will tell. But hey, we've had a pretty good run so far. We're up to... I think we're up to 19 followers now. We just got one more follower. Oh, no, I'm watching myself live. No, stop it. No. Yeah, we're up to 19 followers now. Oh, yeah. Slowly but surely getting on up there. Now, we just had one join this past Wednesday during a very similar stream. So, oh, yeah. Getting on up there. Just, yeah. Only about, 31? 31 more before we become affiliates or whatever. So I'm like, hey. Not that affiliate makes much difference, but... That's true. I was going to say, yeah, I'm curious. Like, we've been streaming for... not quite a year. Like, it hasn't been... it definitely hasn't been a year. It's been... I don't know. Let me think. I know I'm live Twitch. I don't know where you can see that, but it's been, I was gonna say, I mean, it's definitely, it's probably, February maybe, I think? I mean, I guess we could just check the YouTube archive. Because, we would have posted that roughly around that same period. Let's check out the YouTube archive. Because the first... about 5 months ago. So that would have been... Let's see. August, July, June, May, April, March? So we started in March. So about 5 months ago. Yeah, it was March. So, man, 5 months. Hey, 19 followers in 5 months' time. That's not bad. Oh, yeah, I'll take it. It's definitely not the hyperinflation that some streamers have, but also there are a lot of streamers that boost their numbers a little bit, if you know what I mean. Because the thing is, with Twitch, you get additional benefits and stuff once you hit 50 followers. Not about the numbers. Yeah, exactly. It's about sending a message. It's about sending a message. It's not about the money. Goodness. But yeah, once you hit 50 followers, I think that gives you or grants or you can accept what do you call them? Words. Associate status, I think is what they call it, right? Like when you're an associate. But essentially that allows you to be able to have subscribers to all these other streamers. It's gotta get good. Yeah. But yeah, what do you call them? But yeah, once you become an affiliate, you can have subscribers and start accepting monetary donations and stuff. So what a lot of people will do. Affiliate, yeah. So I think, what I've seen a number of people do is there's certain places and stuff online, and I've seen it before, where it's basically just a username, just I don't know, just like a basically just like a follower drop, more or less, like just like a follower bomb, where it's you basically just bought a bunch of different Twitch accounts to follow your channel, and it's like, you know, and it's like what I've seen some people do. Yeah, exactly. But like what I've seen people do is literally just bot to the point where they have, you know, around the 50 follower mark, and then they'll stop botting after they've unlocked the additional features, have the higher visibility, you know, because that's another thing, you know, you know, once you're an affiliate, your content is promoted a little bit more. So like, whereas, you know, if you have 0 viewers or whatever versus somebody else with 0 viewers, you're going to be above them as far as the, you know, the listing, comparatively, just because you're an affiliate. So there's that. But like I said, just being able to also have the you know, the subscriber / donation / whatever else just unlocked, like, you know, that also is a drive for people to just like bot their way up, because like that's the thing, like I've seen so many streamers where, you know, they'll have 100 followers, but like they're sitting at 0 views and like, you know, or like 0 viewers, and like pretty much their VODs are sitting at like a whopping like 2, maybe 3 views. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, it's kind of broken, because it's like, how did this person get 100 followers to then only average like 2 views on VODs and basically 0 views in their streams? Like it doesn't add up. Like even with us, like with our 19 followers, like we're pulling like we're pulling an average of like 20 VOD views. Like it's what do you call them? Like if we look back here, like the SpongeBob finale had 32 views. The Dark Souls finale, which was 5 days ago, has 23 views. And it's just like we're so much smaller than a 100 follower channel. How is it that we're getting so many more VOD views and, I don't know, consistently at least having like, you know, 1 to 2 at least viewers hop in, you know what I mean? And it's like, it doesn't add up, in my opinion. Like, just there's a lot of botting going on, unfortunately. It's like it's easy to do. Like, because we're just built different. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Just built different. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, I'm hoping that the number of VOD views that we do get is a sign of how many people are actually coming back and watching us. You know what I mean? As opposed to like random clicks. Because I would like to think that we have a fairly steady following, or at least to some degree. Because I mean, that's the thing. We do average around 20 to 30 VOD views every single video. So, you know, I'm hoping that at least means we have consistent viewership, if not a lot of viewership. But I'd much prefer that than, you know, having 100 followers and only getting like 2 VOD views, you know, because that's a sign of like, all right, are people actually caring? Exactly, those are good numbers. Like I feel like what we do here is like, we're not really pushing numbers. That's the thing. Like we don't really push numbers here. But what we do have, numbers we do have, like I feel like are consistent. Like these are actual viewers. Like I mean, of our follower list, like I mean, just looking through here, I can tell you probably, what do you call them? Probably 75% of the list of followers we have right now have attended in more than 2 streams. You know what I mean? Like Like, I mean, you've pretty much attended mostly all of them, which is great. Thank you for that. But like there's certain viewers that consistently have been returning. Some of which, like I said, of our subscriber list or of our follower list, probably at least 75% of them have returned for more than one stream. Some of which have returned for 3 or more. So I feel like, we don't necessarily have numbers, and I'm okay with that. But what numbers we do have, they're quality numbers. You know what I mean? Like, I'd much prefer that than having 100 useless followers. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. 100 followers, that's awesome. But if you're only averaging 2 VOD views and, hardly anybody ever joins your streams, then, like, that's just a bunch of randos that happen to push the follow button. You know what I mean? As opposed to, like, people that are actually interested in your content wholeheartedly. You know what I mean? It's just like, there's definitely a big difference there, and I sort of feel like we have something good going here, between Mitchell and I, with, CoopCouchGaming and all. It's just like, it's a good dynamic, and I think people really like it. And again, we don't really care about the numbers. Like, the thing is, quality numbers. But yeah. But yeah, as long as you don't use numbers as placeholders. Absolutely hate that. Yeah, if you use a number as a placeholder, you're a bad person. Goodness. But no. I'm hoping that even once Mitchell ships out and everything. Well, I mean, we're still going to stay in touch as best we can, of course. But yeah, placeholders are 100% a myth. Everybody knows this. Yeah, Zero acting as a placeholder. Don't trust it. But no. Even once Mitchell ships out, like, I want to maintain as much of a CoopCouch sort of environment as possible. I mean, more or less. Like I said, between having guests and stuff hop onto the show, having, I don't know. Even perhaps some remote, like, collab stuff or something, you know what I mean? Like, just to keep some sort of co-op dynamic, like 2 people dynamic. That's sort of the whole bit. I mean, our Twitch thing, reflects that. It's like 2 guys, 1 couch. It's like, it's basically, it works best. Yeah, looking forward. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's definitely going to be a lot of work to try to, like, push content, the way that we are now, since we're both here and everything. But I don't know. Well, we'll come up with a new strategy. You got to adapt, adapt. But we'll see. But yeah, it is far later than I was anticipating being up. It is basically almost 12 o'clock my time, which means it is time I go to bed, because work comes early, as always. So I think I'm going to be calling it a night here momentarily. But yeah, thanks for hopping in. It was great chatting with you, and sorry that I went on so many tangents. True. I was going to say, dude, like, there's certain games or just certain things that I can talk about, like, indefinitely. Before you hopped on, I was actually talking about Log Horizon, which is an old anime that I've convinced Mitchell to start watching. And he actually convinced me to start watching My Hero Academia. But yeah, there's certain things like that where I can just talk indefinitely, and I do have to take a break at some point. But yeah, thanks for hopping in. It was great chatting with you, but yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and call it for tonight. Hope to see you next stream. I'm not sure if that's going to be this Friday. We might take a break this Friday just because of how long last Friday's stream was. But if anything, we might end up doing like a stream or something Monday. If not Friday. Oh yeah, whenever it is. Yeah, I was going to say it's a little tedious trying to iron out the schedule, but yeah, I think we're gonna take a break Friday. We'll probably do something Monday, is what I'm thinking. And if not Monday, then it'll be next Wednesday, and we'll be doing some more Legend of Coop development. So look forward to it. But that being said, it is late. I am tired. It is the night. Good night. You shall has a good night. Well, I hope you have a good night. If you don't, then that'd be disappointing. Much disappointed. So I suggest you grab a pillow. There's no pillow here. You grab a blankie. There's no blanket here. And then you lay down and falls asleep, because that is what is, yeah. That is what it is time to do. So, good night. I bid you farewell.